Hello, good evening, happy Wednesday. Welcome to Live and Conversation. My name is Daphnée Antoine.
And I'm Daphnée Camilien, coming to you live in conversation.
Awesome. I missed you all last week. I was not able to be on, but Daphnée Camilien, the attorney she is, came out like a boss and made it happen. So thank you for that. So as you all know, Live and Conversation is a show that thrive to share resources, share information so that anyone who's part of this on live can have the resources, the knowledge, the information for them to thrive. Okay, so we want to bring experts to you all who can share the story, share the career path with us, and let us know how we can do the same if we choose to. But before we get started, Attorney Chameleon is gonna share a disclosure.
Sure. So this evening we are going to have three guests, and so we're going to let you know our disclosure. The disclosure goes for our guests as well as for us. I am an attorney. Anything I say does not enter us into an attorney-client relationship. Daphnée Renee Antoine is a financial entrepreneur, and anything that she says does not enter you or her into any type of fiduciary relationship. As well as our guests this evening, any information that they share does not enter you or the guests into any type of relationship. Please note the information is for information and entertainment purposes only. Always do your research before buying property, before undergoing any of the information, undergoing anything that you hear on this website. Reach out to professionals beforehand. If you have any questions, you can always contact us on Live in Conversation through our Facebook page, and we'll try to get back to you on the next Live in Conversation. Back to you, Daphnée. You're on mute.
All right, thank you for sharing that. Hello and welcome to all of you who are live, and also those of you who's gonna be watching the replay. We appreciate you as well. We already have guests and comments. Hello, Laurie. Good evening. She is amazing. Let's get to it. We've been in a real estate kind of like investment, home ownership, education series for almost 2 months now, and I definitely think it's been helpful. A lot of people are appreciative of it, and we've shared so much knowledge. So I hope that you all are going to take that information and actually, apply it to some level. Obviously, to your level of comfort, but don't just come live and listen to us and don't do anything. That's all I'm saying. So before we get to our guest this evening and to our conversation, we do have Attorney Chameleon who's here every week updating us on immigration news. So if you or someone you know will benefit from what she has to share, go ahead and share it right now and connect them. So let's get into it.
This evening, I'm going to talk to you a little bit about immigration and immigration news and immigration information, I should say. So tonight, we're going to talk a little bit about visa, just non-immigrant visas. It's like student visas, visitor visas, things of that nature. So and that's what we consider, that's an example of a non-immigrant visa. More specifically, I'm going to talk to you about visitor visas. So, when someone wants to come to the United States, they have to obtain a visitor visa. And for most countries, not all countries, but for most countries, they have to obtain a visitor visa. Once they get a visitor visa and the person's in the United States, what happens if they are having such a great time and they don't want to go back to their country right away, or they can't go back because something's going on in their country at that exact moment. COVID-19 is a great example. There was lots of people visiting the United States and had a return ticket and couldn't go back because of COVID regulations. They would have to isolate for large amount of time in a different area. There was a lot of complications, so they opted to stay in the United States a little longer. And what can you do? So if you're got a visitor visa, let's say it's good for 6 months, you can come to the U.S. for 6 months, and your visa is going to expire, you can apply for a extension. So instead of letting your visa expire and then entering a status of overstay, which puts you in a position to get deported, what you can do is apply for a visitor visa. And the visitor visa, I'm sorry, you can apply for extension to your visitor visa, the I-539 application. And so what you would do is you would go to uscis.gov. That's uscis.gov. In the search box, you would put I-539. You just literally put the letter I, the numbers 539. You would see the application, and then you could download the application, print it out, and you can fill it out and send it in. It's recommended that you do this 45 days before your visa is to expire. It's really important that you apply before your visa expires, because if you don't, you can be denied your request for an extension if you're out of status. So everything is based on if you're in status. So it's really important that you apply before you're out of status. It does cost a fee. Unfortunately, it's not free. It costs $455 to go ahead and apply, and you have to wait for to hear if your approval. Once you're approved, then you can stay a couple more months. They'll put a date on there as to when your new expiration date is, to where you would have to leave the country. But that's a way to stay in and still be lawfully in the United States under your visitor visa status. The other thing I was going to talk to you about is I think I'm going to start a new segment maybe not every week, but maybe once a month, called Immigrant Impact. And I'm going to talk about a little bit about the immigrants' impact on in the United States, just because we have such a I'm an immigration attorney, so this is my opinion, but I do believe that there's a little bit of an anti-immigrant sentiment in the United States right now. U.S. is really divided, and so I think it'd be really important to talk about some of the impacts that immigrants have on the United States. So there's a recent Ford article, that just came out, and I thought it was very interesting because it talked about more than half of the startup companies. So more than half of the valuable startup companies, this entrepreneurship in America, were founded by immigrants. So that's according to a new analysis done by the National Foundation for American Policy. And they also discovered, which I found very interesting, immigrants have started more than half, that's 319 of the 582, or that's 55% of America's startup companies valued at $1 billion or more. So we already know that there's not a lot of companies that have a $1 billion valuation. So we're talking about, of the 519 companies in the United States that have a $1 billion evaluation or more, 55% of those companies were started by immigrants. Thought that was pretty interesting. And then it said another fact that I found was nearly 2/3, that's 64% of these billion-dollar companies, which they call unicorns, either were founded or co-founded by immigrants or the children of immigrants. So even if they weren't founded by the direct immigrants, there was even more companies that were founded by children of immigrants. So we are definitely a melting pot in the United States. There are definitely every culture in the United States has made contributions to the United States. That's what makes it so great. So I just thought that was very interesting, and I wanted to bring that immigrant impact fact to you this evening. And back to you, Daphnée. And if anybody has any questions, as we wait for Daphnée, if anyone has any questions, about any immigration questions, you can always email us. You can always email me at Daphnée@chameleonlaw.com. You can send a message on the chats. You can DM me, Chameleon Law on Facebook as well. You can always ask a question. If you want me to just respond to you directly, I will. Or I can always get back to you or answer your question live. Obviously, I would never disclose who it is, but more than likely, we are all, we're all sharing an experience. So if you have a question, more than likely someone else out there has the same question. Back to you, Daphnée. You're on mute.
Wow. Thank you, Attorney Camilien, always sharing great information with us. I definitely like the idea of the immigrant impact segment. I'm not surprised, but then I appreciate you sharing that fact with us, because at the end of the day, it's important to share the impact of immigrants throughout the U.S. And so, yes, thank you for coming to that idea. Thank you for sharing this fact with us. And thank you for letting us know about how, if you are on a visa that's about to expire or that is expired, don't just sit on it. You can extend it. And Attorney Camillen is here. She can help you with that if needs be. And then, so if you or someone you know, maybe you're in need of assistance, you can reach out to chameleonlaw.com, or you can call her at 847-410-9022, 847-410-9022. So with that being said, thank you again, Attorney Camillen. With that being said, we do want to move forward to our guests this evening who are here to share the information with us, to share the knowledge with us, to inspire us. And so every week I do want to share a resource with you all, because we not only want to give you information, but we also want to empower you with tools that you can implement or that you can connect to help you move forward in your journey. So just briefly, two resources that I want to share. We had Lori Joseph with us a few times, where she shared her organization, Haitian Will See, that come with us. So if you are of Haitian descent and you speak Haitian Creole, and you are part of the real estate industry in any capacity, I encourage you to be part of that group. It's as if it's a directory. And then, so by being part of Haitian Wealthy, .com, if someone who is more comfortable with a Haitian Creole speaker, in the search of becoming a homeowner, or maybe need a mortgage lender who could explain things to them in their native language. So being part of this directory, you are able to list yourself, and then people can then reach out to you, knowing that you are of Haitian descent, and you can speak with them in their native language. And then, so that HaitianWealthy.com, you can reach out to Laurie Joseph if you want more information. So the second resource that I do want to share, when we had the gentleman real estate week with us, he shared a networking group, a real estate networking group, where if you are interested in investing in real estate and you need people in your corner who can help guide you, you can be part of this group, where you can meet with other investors. I'm trying to get the link to show you. You can meet with different investors, and there's actually an upcoming event on the 18th. So I will share that at the end with you all, so I can move to our guests, and I'll put the link on the website as well. It's alleia.org. Okay, so it's a real estate investment association, and there's gonna be an event, a networking event, on August 18th. I'll share more information at the end. All right, all right. So with that being said, hello, good evening again to all of you joining us. My name is Daphnée Antoine with attorney Daphnée Camilien. And live in conversation is to share information, resources, and bring people in the field who can explain to us who they are, what they do, and how you can also thrive in the respective field. So it is a pleasure and honor and privilege to have with us the CEO, owner, and founder of TitleGeeks.com, as well as two title closing agents from that company who's going to be introducing themselves and let them know who they are and what title insurance is. So, without any further ado, Miss Carline Mazard
Saintilus.
Saintilus, Miss Julia Harris, and last but not least, Mr. Jean Louidor. Good
How's everyone doing?
evening.
Hi, how are you?
Good, good.
Thank
Thank you for being on our show.
Definitely. Thank you,
you for
thank you,
having
you
thank
for
you
having
so
us.
much. You already have a few people expecting this conversation. I have Jean Joseph, I just mentioned her. My sister Christine Renee, a businesswoman. Whatever you think you need in life, she does it. Okay, so reach out to her. Yeah, so go Title Geeks. And then, so let me have you all introduce yourself,
Right.
just know who you are, and we'll have a few questions for you. Since Colin is up here with us, how about you start?
I'm okay. I was gonna let my colleagues start,
Oh,
but
you
that's
can go. Let's let the colleague go.
yeah.
Yes. Thank
I
you.
want them to shine more than me, so that
Okay,
works.
all right, all right. How about I try with Julia Harris?
Oh,
All
me
right.
first.
Go ahead.
Okay,
Hi,
Jill.
guys. Hi, I'm Julia Harris. I'm new to the title industry. I am a realtor of many years, and I got into the game by my good friend, Miss Carline. So that's me in a nutshell. I don't know what else to tell you.
Let me piggyback that. Julia is, as she mentioned, a seasoned and veteran real estate agent transitioning into the real estate. I'm sorry, into the title industry, and one of my partners. And Julia is over the Treasure Coast division of the Title Geeks company, our operations in Florida. So right now we are preparing to open our office in Port St. Lucie, where Julia will cover a majority of the counties in that area through the known as the Treasure Coast for people who are here in Florida, and that's going to be her baby, and she's taking over, and she's going to do that, and she is a very sharp woman. She knows her stuff. She's smarter than she thinks, and
Yes,
I'm
she
telling
is.
you, she is a phenomenal woman, and I am so happy, and I feel totally blessed that she um, allowed us to be a part of her journey and us similarly. So that's her.
Thank you. Thank you
Okay.
so much.
All right.
Thank
I
you.
try.
What? Yeah, what she said.
All fact.
What
All
she
fact.
said.
What she
All
said.
right, all right.
So the Treasure Coast includes the St. Lucie County, Martin County, and Indian River County in the state of Florida.
That's on the
So
East Coast.
Awesome.
yes. So those three counties, the Treasure Coast location will cover. And yeah, we're open for business. We're waiting. Come on, bring your deals in.
All right, all
Bring them
right.
on in. Bring them on in.
And Mr. Louidor, how about you introduce yourself?
Right. As you already said, my name is Jean-Baptiste Louidor, and I'm a recent title insurance agent licensed in the state of Florida, seeking licensing in other states. I'm also the head of marketing, so I handle most of our social media marketing. I normally run the fundraisers, any silent auctions we have to raise more so for fundraisers, so on and so forth. So yeah, wherever I'm needed is where I'm at. So yeah, if it's the Treasure Coast, if it's Fort Myers, if it's in our Tennessee, Clarksville, Tennessee location, yeah, I'm there.
All right.
Can
I
I
know.
add? I'm sorry, Daphnée. Can I add to his too? Because I noticed these
Definitely.
people are super modest tonight. I don't know what's going on with them, but do that. He is a man of many words, and everything he said is true. But I mean, superstar PR person. He does very well with all of our social media campaigns, and all of our community-based initiatives. And he is the one that generates a majority of the business for us and really puts our name out there, and our social footprint out on TikTok and Facebook and Instagram, you name it. And so with him coming on board, our growth, our organic growth, I should say, has grown exponentially. I haven't even had a chance to sit down and look at the numbers, but just based on what I've seen, with him, we've grown tremendously in the
To
last.
be to be exact, I doubled the number since I've been a president in Kentucky.
Gosh,
Pop
there's
collars.
We have to say it. Somebody had to say it. Men lie, women lie, numbers don't.
I love it.
All right. Good evening, everyone.
Collar, Gene. I'm just saying.
Some healthy competition here. That's what
Yeah,
we love.
okay.
Hey, Carline, the modesty went right out the door on that one.
fun.
All right, everyone. Thank you once again for being with us. We definitely appreciate you, and those of you watching online, we appreciate you as well. Share this conversation. I'm sure you will learn something, and the person you shared with will also be grateful. And then, so tonight conversation is about title insurance. I had the privilege of interviewing Mrs. Mazard Saintilus maybe 2 or 3 weeks ago, and she explained to us what is title insurance. Maybe you were not here, maybe you need a refresher, but how about our lovely agents right now can tell the audience, those of them who did not participate in that live, what is title insurance and why is it important? Let me start with Julia.
Oh, come on.
Okay.
Caught me off guard. Title insurance.
What is the purpose of it?
The purpose of title insurance is to basically ensure that the property that you're buying is free and clear of any encumbrances, and just free and clear, that no one from the past can come back and say, hey, Daphnée, you don't own this property, I do. So a title company does the research and make sure that you receive that property free and clear.
All right. And Mr. Louidor,
Yes, ma'am.
if you can maybe add some more as to what is the importance of the benefit of using a title insurance agent.
Well, I'll try to use layman's terms. I don't want to be too book savvy. I want someone to be able to listen and understand from the most basic level, right? So at the end of the day, I'd rather give an example, right? So the importance of title insurance would be, let's say you have a mother and father who are deceased, they passed away, and they're siblings, and a sibling is selling the house claiming to be the owner. Where title insurance steps in and saves the day is because we actually verify who the owner is. So a brother could have been told by a father, hey, I'm leaving this to you. And through word of mouth, he's thinking, hey, this is my house. And he's not deliberately doing anything evil. He's thinking, hey, this is mine to sell. And then we do our due diligence and find out that, in fact, it's not. It's for his sister or it's for his brother. And we come in and make sure that someone can't later on say, hey, look, I stake true claim to this because my name is on the deed. It belongs to me and I have proof of. And so we do our due diligence to make sure that the actual owner of the home is the owner actually selling the home and not someone else, if that makes sense.
Attorney Camilien, feel free to jump up, to jump in.
Sure. I'll ask you a question. Usually title insurance, or people think about or hear about title insurance companies, is when they're selling or purchasing a property. Is there any other time that you guys come up? Any other ways, or is it solely in the real estate transaction? Ms. Carline, we haven't heard from you.
Yeah, so we a title insurance is needed, just like you said, when a property is being sold or purchased, and also when a property is being refinanced, because the lender wants to ensure their position, a first lien position on a property. So they will mandate that the borrower take out a title insurance policy on on that loan.
And so, if there is a lien um, on the property, that's something that you would tell. Um, so who do you work for? That's a good question. Or I'm thinking about it. Who, if you go run title, so let's say um, I'm buying a Walgreens, a location where Walgreens was at, or whatever, commercial property, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I who are you loyal to? If you
Like,
find
who do you represent?
yeah, who do you represent? If you find that there's a lien on the property, do I hire you? Is the seller hire you, or is it purely the mortgage company, if we're talking about a mortgage?
That depends on the location. So whatever's usual and customary for that particular area wherever the property is located. So, for example, since we do a bulk of our work in Florida, there are a few counties in Florida where the buyer chooses the title company, and then there are other counties within the state of Florida where the seller chooses the title company. Um, and so it all depends on where that property is situated. So, and for the most part, our job as a closing agent is to work for the transaction. So it's our job to ensure that the property is being conveyed over with clear and marketable title. So that means it's our responsibility to clear every objection on title before it changes hands.
And so if you discover a lien, you let both sides know.
If we discover a lien, the lien is obviously attached to the owner, the current owner at the time. So that is who we disclose that lien to. If the and at that point, we then start our investigating. Let's say the lien, for example, is a mortgage. Then that seller would provide us with information to the lien holder. We contact the lien holder and request what's called a payoff letter, and that is part of the transaction. We collect the amount that lien holder says is needed to satisfy that lien. We collect it as part of the transaction. And then at closing, we disperse that amount to the lien holder in exchange for them to provide a satisfaction of mortgage, releasing that lien from the property.
And then what if, I only ask because this is a little bit in some of the things I do. And what if it's a creditor lien? So let's say Macy's Macy's.
It all depends. Again, I'm not the attorney that's that's
that's okay.
Right. No, I'm just curious. Like, what does a title company do if they see it? Like,
right. So it all depends on what type of lien. Like, again, here I'm gonna continue to reference Florida because this is what we do. It all depends on the type of lien. So if it's a certified judgment or if it's a named judgment, it depends on the statute of limitations, how many years is left on it. It's our responsibility. And if it's a title requirement to clear on our title commitment, then we would contact that creditor, Macy's, for example, or the attorney representing Macy's, and request a payoff and do the same as we would for a regular a payoff. Yeah.
Oh, good. That's very interesting.
Right.
Okay. Do you run into any issues, or is it usually just pretty easy? Not honestly easy, like there's no such thing as.
Right. It all depends. So sometimes, we have some creditors, sometimes with these types of creditors, let's say, for example, like these retail creditors or credit card companies, sometimes the loans are bought out by third-party companies. Right. And so it becomes a game. I've had it in my experience where I've had to kind of do a paper trail to see how many times it's been sold or transferred or being serviced by a different company, and then until I'm finally able to get to the right person and then get a payoff. Sometimes very rarely I'm not fortunate enough to get a payoff, but in situations like that where I'm unable to get one, there's always an alternative to curing that title requirement.
That's interesting. And so you have to be licensed to to do titles, right? But it's a state license, so you have to get licensed in every state.
Correct.
Okay.
Correct. Yes.
And so you guys, go ahead.
Yeah, I was just going to say, so we're licensed here in Florida. We're licensed in the state of Tennessee, New York, and we're going to have eventually someone brand new coming on board who's licensed in the state of Maryland. And we're looking to be licensed in other states as well, Kentucky, Georgia, Texas, hopefully. And eventually we'll be national.
All right, all right.
Yeah.
Hello again to everyone. Good evening. This is Live in Conversation. So tonight's topic is understanding title insurance. And then the reason we have this conversation is because for the past 2 months, we have been bringing guests to you from all aspects of the real estate industry, so that you can be knowledgeable of what homeownership investment entails. And obviously, title insurance is major when it comes to owning a home or investing in real estate property, because you want to make sure that your hard-earned money is not lost because you did not do your due diligence. And this is what these amazing professionals do. They help protect your money, they help protect your investment, and so we have more questions for them. So go ahead and type your questions. Let us be part of the conversation and let's have some more fun. So next question. Do you want to go, Attorney Camilien? Or...
No, go ahead. Go ahead.
Okay. And then so how soon, obviously when there's like a mortgage, it's like a mandatory to have title insurance, correct? But then for someone who is going to buy cash, and then so how soon should they start maybe locating a title insurance company? And also basically what will be the process of them selecting a good title company?
So I'll give you an example of a call I got earlier today. I can tell you that a good chunk of our business is from word of mouth. Our clients are so satisfied with the service and the turn times and the delivery of what we offer, that they share our information with their colleagues. I received a call earlier today from a realtor out of Connecticut who owns property here in Florida that she's selling. And it was by a lender who mentioned my name to her, and she reached out to me and she said, I heard about you guys. I am starting to follow you guys on Instagram. I see what you're doing. I love what you're doing. I went on your website and just fished around a little bit. I would love to definitely use you for the sale of my property. Ironically, where her property is located, the seller gets to select the title company. And so her, as the seller, she had the authority to select the title company because that is customary for that area. And so that's how we were able to get that business. I hope I answered the question.
Yeah.
Okay.
Maybe Julia, you want to add to that?
So I believe the question was who picks it, or I forgot.
Yeah, so no, the question is who select so basically it's already answered already. It's based on the county. But then, like, once the person, first of all, how does the person know that they the one who select it, either the buyer or the seller? How will they know that? Who selected, and then how will they go about selecting a company?
Okay,
What's the process to know which company to select?
Well, how would the buyer or seller know? Well, hopefully they'll be using a licensed realtor, because then that realtor, or if they're getting a loan, then the mortgage lender would, gear them towards whoever it is that they prefer to use, hopefully Title Geeks. So, so yes, how do they know on their own?
They wouldn't.
I don't know.
They wouldn't know. 9 times out of 10, the average buyer or seller relies on the professional.
The professional,
right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
They rely on the professional, and they automatically assume that the professional has a team of other professionals that they work with. And so if they have the real estate agent as their professional, the agent would let them know, hey, here's a list of all the title companies that I use. Here's a list of all the lenders that I use. You can do your due diligence, look them up, research them on the internet, and let me know which one you decide to go with.
Awesome.
Right?
So
Yeah, go ahead, Julia. I'm sorry.
no, I was gonna say, but as far as the most important factors in choosing a title company, you want to go with someone that speaks to you, like you can trust them. You feel secure. They have the technology to help you. They communicate with you, immensely. Flexible in their closing schedule, because you have some people that 5 o'clock comes and they shut it down, but not Title Geeks. We are flexible.
Title Geeks.
Let's get it together. We are flexible. And, just the overall closing experience is a huge factor, because, again, with Title Geeks, we are home of the closing karaoke. So
Right.
what we do is, we try to make the buyer, mostly, feel a sense of celebration once they're done with signing that stack of paper that they have to sign. So with us, they'll either do it before or after signing, but they'll sing a little tune, karaoke style, just to celebrate, their accomplishment on that day. So
Yeah. Closing
just
karaoke is something that we coined as a way to kind of break the ice. When a buyer is going through the process of buying a home, it can be very stressful. And they're sometimes often asked by the lender for the same document probably 16,000 times, and it can be frustrating. It can be, just a number of different emotions can go through that 30 to 45-day window that they're going through the process of getting approved. And even when they get to the end and they get that clear to close or that loan approval, they're so like in that psychological state.
they're drained.
They're drained, and they walk into the title company. They still walk in with this energy that's just like it's weird. So we came up with this karaoke thing as a way to just kind of help them just relax a little bit, break the ice, enjoy it, and celebrate that victory of knowing that you're going to be a homeowner. And the clients get to choose any song from any genre. It's just sing. We're backup dancers, we're backup singers, and have a good time. uh, and then go into the conference room and sign that stack of papers, because it's a 30-year commitment for in most cases. And then when they're done, we have poppers, we take pictures, we have a good time, and then everyone goes home and goes to work and to pay that mortgage for the next
30 years.
360
months.
Awesome. At least you had a good time with Title Geeks.
We've been fortunate. We've been blessed, because most of those people who end up doing that tend to want to give us the testimonies. We don't ever have to even ask. 9 times out of 10, they're giving us testimonies. So it's always a good experience.
Since you already hear Mr. Louidor, and we're talking about paying, who pays the closing fee?
It depends. I believe the buyer and seller pay a certain amount of fees. So they both.
Right. The contract dictates who pays the fees. However, for the closing settlement service fee, if the title company is servicing both parties, obviously both parties should pay a fee. But in terms of the title insurance, again, the contract will dictate who pays the title insurance. In Florida, whoever is wherever the property is situated, whoever selects the title company, whether it's buyer or seller, that party will pay for the title insurance, and it's a promulgated rate based on the transaction size, whether based on the loan amount or the purchase price.
So am I understanding 2 fees? One is the actual policy and the other is the service?
Correct. So the title insurance premium covers the insurance.
Yes.
However, as a title company, we are a service provider. So we
Exactly.
also have our fees because we have to operate.
Yes, ma'am.
Exactly.
Yeah.
All right. Attorney Chameleon, you've been quiet.
Yeah, sure.
She's learning a lot and absorbing.
I am, because
Yes.
then I ask you 10,000 questions. So,
Oh,
so how important is it to, or do you think it's important to have a real estate background, and or just have relationships with real estate agents, as far as getting business, or knowing what's going on in the field?
That's a great question.
Jules, you want to answer that?
Okay.
Of course, Julie.
So,
You
I
are
mean,
a real estate background, right? Yeah.
yes.
We all do.
Yes.
All
Yes.
do. Okay.
I was about to say. So,
We all do.
Oh, you all
repeat
do.
your
Oh,
question
great.
again,
To know.
No, I'm
attorney.
saying, how important was it to have a real estate background to get into the title company, and or is it more important to have relationships with real estate agents for business and to know what's going on, in the real estate industry?
Well, okay, so I'd say it's 50-50. I mean,
Yeah.
I was first a realtor before I got into this industry. So it helped me, being a realtor, to understand what was going on the title side, right? But as far as getting business now, yes, I'm a realtor, so I will also, speak to my realtor friends and say, hey, would you like to use Title Geeks to close your deals?
Yeah, this industry is it is relational. It's always good to have relationships with other colleagues in the industry.
Other
We all
professionals.
other professionals. We go to networking mixers. We do a lot of community-based events for first-time home buyers. We do, just it, even other non-real estate related community-based events with churches. Like we have our backpack drive coming August 7th, and that's just general for the entire community. So with that, our business name is out there, which shows that we're giving back to the community, and for the most part, because um, I'm Haitian, and of course both of you Daphnes know this, our Haitian people, they tend to gravitate towards us, and to help them navigate through other things that they're dealing with, even if it's outside of whatever service that we provide respectively, to help them. And so you build that relationship, they trust you. And then what they do is they'll tell their family members about you, they'll tell their colleagues about you, their fellow church members about you, and then you grow your business like that, because it is, again, in this industry, everything is relational.
Daphne, you're on mute.
Just to follow up, I know Julia, are you still a real estate license agent?
Yes, I
Okay.
am.
I
And
am
so like
too.
oh, in Louidor, yes.
I'm not a real estate.
Okay. So I guess that answer my question is, can you serve both in a capacity as a real estate agent as well as the closing agent? So I'm getting yes or no.
You want me to answer that?
Yes, please.
um During the transactions of my own personal transaction, I was the buyer, the realtor, as well as the closing agent.
All right. All right. All right.
And my lender did not have any objections to it. My underwriters didn't have any objections to it. I fully disclosed everything to all parties.
That's the part of it.
Yeah.
Being upfront.
Yes.
Disclosure.
Yes, we're very transparent. We have nothing to hide, and we let them know, and it's legitimate. We're not breaking any rules, and we're doing everything so the right way.
I mean, obviously, this is conversation only, and then it's not to none of these ladies or gentlemen represent you, so it's informational conversation only. And then, so would that apply to any state or just Florida
What do you mean?
to serve and to serve in a capacity as both the agent, as the real estate agent, as well as the closing agent?
Um, I haven't purchased outside of Florida yet, so I can't answer that question.
Okay. All right.
When the
That's
time
good.
comes, yes,
All right.
I'll let you know. But I would imagine that as long as you're able to disclose, and if I can't act in, be the same person in multiple roles in any one transaction, I'm more than happy to refer the business out to somebody else. That's not an issue.
So, Carline, I don't think maybe you did it on your last time that you were on the show, but I don't think you said what was your motivation to start um, Title Geeks. Like you mentioned that you had a real estate background. Is it just something you always wanted to do? Like you dreamed of starting Title Geeks, or
Never.
you saw a need, and then went for it, or just something you were interested in?
I got into this industry by fluke. I was a first year law student. I was supposed to be you, Daphnée.
I'm supposed to be you. No, I'm kidding.
And I was a freshman in college and pre-law, and I ended up getting pregnant, and I decided to change my life around based on the life change.
Right.
And I took a job as a receptionist for a loan servicing company that had a title division within that company locally. And I was working as a receptionist, just doing switchboard at the time. This was the early 90s. And the supervisor of the title division came over and he said to me, "Hey, we have an opening in our title department. I would like for you to apply for it." And I was like, "I don't want to do that. I want to be a lawyer. Like, I'm just here because, I have a kid I'm bringing into the world. Like, I don't. And so he kept at it. He was very persistent. And, I was like, okay, you know what? It's worth a shot. It's more money. Let me, check it out and see what it's about. And when I got that position, it was very interesting. My attention span is very short. And so, yeah, I get bored really quickly. And so with this industry, because it was ever evolving, and so there's always something going on, something changing, new regulations, new laws. And so it kept me on my toes. I really liked it. And so the more I learned about it, the more I became very interested in it. And so I just kind of stuck with it. And then I kind of worked my way around within the title industry. And after 8 years of working for different title companies, whether it's on the foreclosure end, the REO, short sales, or traditional purchase sales, I took a leap of faith and went out on my own in 2005. I didn't see that there was a need for it. I just have that entrepreneurial spirit. It's just in my blood. And I was like, I want to be my own boss.
I love that. So has Title Geeks been around since 2005, or did it evolve?
No, I had different title companies under different names. So Title Geeks is 2.5 years old.
Wow.
I opened Title Geeks just right before the pandemic in January 2020. I had just closed down my previous title company under a different name towards the end of 2019 and wanted to rebrand and just start anew. And I was at Best Buy waiting on a Geek Squad member and trying to think of a name for the new title company. And that's how Title Geeks came about. The name Title Geeks came about.
It's a good name. It's a good
I
name.
didn't know that story.
It
Okay.
is.
I didn't know
I
that.
knew that.
I didn't know that.
Now I know.
I don't know.
That's why you have to be part of live and conversation.
There you go.
Things come
There's-
out.
Yeah, nothing elaborate. I was just there. And at the time I was just like, I don't know what I'm going to call this title company. What am I going to call it? What am I going to call it? And then the word Geeks was there. And then I was like, oh, Title Geeks. There it is. Boom. And that was
Boom.
That was
It is 8:55. Oh, were you about to add something, Louidor?
Oh no, I was just saying that was awesome. And to add to that story, whoever that person was that kept at you, He saw something in you. Whatever he
Right.
saw, he was right, because I mean, you're phenomenal at this. Salute.
Right.
Yeah, he poured into me a lot, and when he poured into me, at the time when I decided to leave and go out on my own, I told him I was going out on my own, and he was like a mentor, an uncle, a godfather to me. And he said and I didn't know how to thank him. I said, how do I thank you? He said, just pay it forward. If there's anybody that wants to get into this industry and they don't know, teach them. And I kept my promise. And that's it. I know Daphnée Camilien, you asked a question earlier, does someone have to do they need to have a real estate background in order to get into the title industry? In my experience, I've trained people who have no background in real estate, and they know how to do title.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah,
That's great. So it is 8:56. We just want to say thank you again, Mrs. Mazard Saintilus, Miss Julia Harris, and Mr. Jean Louidor for being our guests this evening. We definitely want to share your website and how people can connect with you. And
do you want one of us to say the website address, or do you have it?
actually have it. Go ahead and share it as I'm putting it up. I have it here.
Okay, so our web address is www.thetitlegeeks.com. We're also on Instagram at symbol The Title Geeks. You can find us on TikTok, LinkedIn, Facebook. I think that's it, right, Jane? Okay.
That's it for now. Yeah.
That's it for
Twitter is soon to come.
Twitter soon, and YouTube.
YouTube. And so everything is The Title Geeks, right?
Yeah.
On all social media platforms.
Actually, no. On Facebook, we're just Title Geeks.
Okay.
And TikTok, we're Title Geeks.
You're Title Geeks on TikTok.
Yes.
I'll look for you on TikTok.
Yay. I don't know TikTok very well.
I'll look for you, Gene. I'll look for you, Gene, on TikTok.
we're on TikTok though. We're good.
But I know we have a TikTok handle. So yeah, we're on there. Our website is going to be updated. We have additional branch offices that we're going to be adding, and everyone's bio is going to be added on there at some point too. So we speak fluent Creole, French, and Spanish. We also speak Jamaican patois, so we're able to. That is a language in my book.
That's a fact. That's a fact. It is a fact. Julia, you have a lot.
English. It is
Julia, you have a lot.
By the way, they're pointing me out. Yes, I am Jamaican. I'm the non-Creole speaker here.
So we are a group of phenomenal professionals of Caribbean descent. So
yes,
definitely eager, always welcome to partner with other colleagues and industry professionals on different initiatives, whether it's community-based initiatives or anything. As long as it makes sense, we're definitely on board.
Absolutely.
I have a question. Where are you guys located? Because you said 8:50.
That's a good question.
We're in Chicago, Illinois.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
So I noticed that you guys didn't talk about Illinois as a potential state to be licensed in.
She got it in her head. Don't worry.
Okay.
Let's put it like this. The reason why we didn't mention it is because it's already expected. We're trying to take over the world, so expect us to be
I
everywhere.
hear that. I hear the expansion.
That's the mission.
Listen, there was I was actually proposed to expand to Illinois and Mississippi because that group, Black Girls in Real Estate, I don't know if you ladies have heard about this group. There's a group called Black Girls in Real Estate on Facebook. I think there's about 80,000 African-American women nationally from different industries within different jobs within the real estate industry in that group. And just whenever you're on different posts, you comment, and someone said to me, why aren't you in Chicago yet? You need to expand. You need to be here. You need to be there. And that's how we ended up in Tennessee. It was by invitation in that group. But Yeah,
That's
Chicago is.
that's how she ended up in Treasure Coast.
Mm-hmm. And Fort Myers. You know, Illinois is. I'm not entirely. I don't know how Illinois title insurance works. I don't know if it's an attorney state or if it's a non-attorney state. So we'd have to look into that.
Yeah. I think,
All right.
I think you should.
We think you should. There is a large Haitian community in the Chicagoland area, even though we
Yes.
discuss, however, we are present,
Yes.
and I'm sure there's a need for your service.
Yes, that I know. Yeah.
So that being said, it is 9:01. Thank you once again for being our guest and for bringing your lovely colleagues with you this evening
Yay.
and sharing your knowledge, your expertise with our guests. So with that being said, Attorney Camilien, any last thing you want to add before we wrap up?
No, just thank you so much for joining us this evening.
Thank
Thank you for having us. We appreciate
Yeah.
it.
And then so remember, if you about to buy a home, you were investing in real estate property, and you need someone who can help guide you toward the closing, Title Geeks is the place to go. The website is thetitlegeeks.com. And also, if you are part of the real estate industry in any capacity, go ahead and be part of HaitianRealty.com. And obviously, Attorney Camilien is here every week sharing her knowledge with us, letting us know what's happening when it comes to immigration news. And then, so if you also, when you know, may be in need of a service, reach out to her at camelianlaw.com or call her at 847-410-9022. That's it for tonight. We will see you next Wednesday and live and conversation. Any last word, Daphnée? I thought you were about to say something.
Nope, bye.
This was a lovely conversation.
It has been.
We appreciate you the best in all your continuous endeavors.
Thank you so
Thank
much,
you.
both of you. Have a good night.
Have a great one.
Bye. Bye-bye.
Bye, guys.